This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so so today we will be seeing about the different ways of retrieving the data from interaction history. So not retrieving, so different ways of inserting the data, and also what is interaction history. So let us check what is interaction history and what are the different tables which are present in the interaction history. So we all know that the interaction history is present here. You can click on this icon and interaction history. Okay, so basically interaction history is where you can actually get the data collaborated from customers interaction, right? So we have seen the treatment. Whenever customer clicks on the accept button or reject button, that information will be recorded to the interaction history. So we can see the interaction history from here. On the top right side, you click on this icon, you have interaction history where you can see all the customer interactions. So this interaction history is not just a single table where the data will be stored whenever a customer responds to a particular treatment. So the interaction will be stored into multiple tables. So there are two types of tables here. First table is fact table. Second, we have dimension tables. Okay, so first we have fact table and dimension tables. So within the dimension tables, we have outcome dimension, channel dimension, association dimension. Like that, we have around 7 dimension tables. Okay, so we have that many dimension tables are present where you can actually store the data. That means, for example, all outcome related data, for example, which channel the outcome is made, what is the outcome, this information is stored into outcome dimension. For example, what is the issue, what is the group, what is the offer that the customer accepted, that is stored into action dimension table. So like this, whatever the data that is getting stored into interaction history is not stored in a single table, but it is stored into multiple tables. And from those multiple tables, the fact table will get the aggregated data. Okay, the fact table will get the aggregated data from all these dimension tables and it will store into that. Okay, so that is the reason I told that we have two types of tables in interaction history. One is fact table, second is dimension tables. So this is the section that is present in the backend. So that is PY interaction history, PY interactions history. Okay, the table name is PY interactions history. So let us go to the table. PY interactions history. What I'll do, I'll just go through the here. Just go to here, prediction studio. Then you switch to the dev studio. Okay, then we can access the report definition. So switch to the Dev Studio. Just you search PY interactions history. Okay. So now you go to this one. This is the report definition, which is present in data dash decision dash IH dash fact. Okay, that is present in data dash decision dash IH dash fact. Okay. So here, now what we have to do, if you go to the data access tab, or data access, so if you go to the report, so then go to the data access tab, and if you scroll down, so these are all the dimension tables which are present in the interaction history. Action dimension, channel dimension, application dimension, operator dimension, outcome dimension, journey dimension, customer dimension. So you try to remember as many dimension tables as possible. For example, what is the channel through which the customer responded? What is the outcome? What is the channel name? What is the direction that is present in this channel table? Okay. So what is the issue? What is the group? What is the offer name that the customer responded? That will be present in this action table. So like this, different columns will be stored into different dimension tables, and from these dimension tables the fact table is getting the aggregated data. Okay, fact table is getting the aggregated data. You see here, if you come to the report definition, you can see here action dimension is having py issue, py group, py name. Channel dimension is having py direction and py channel. And if you see, outcome dimension is having py outcome, and operator dimension is having what is organization, division, unit, and operator details. So like this, from these tables, what happens is in this dimension table there will be a primary key which will be like for action table it will be something like pz action id, and for example, if you take outcome dimension table, there will be the primary key like pz outcome id. So the same column will also be present in the fact table also. Okay, so using this column the join will happen and the data will be retrieved from the dimension tables to the fact table. So if you see the associations which are created for the interaction history, so for example here I'll just give the name as so let us give the name as dimension. And if you see here, these are the dimension associations. You have outcome dimension, operator dimension, location dimension, all that. Now if you go to one of this, like for example, if you go to the outcome dimension, so the outcome dimension is having the join. Okay, here there is a join right here, and in this join you can see the conditions. You see the condition is pz outcome id equal to outcome dimension dot pz id. Okay, So association is nothing but a join only. But the difference is you can reuse this join wherever you want, you can reuse. So right now this fact table is associating, okay, this is a fact table, data dash decision dash IH dash fact, that is associating with data dash decision dash IH dash dimension dash outcome. So this class is joining with this class with the join condition pz outcome id equal to outcome dimension dot pz id. So yeah, pz id is what will be present everywhere, okay. pz id will be present in all the columns. So that equal to like this, it will join, because this column will be there in the fact table, this column is there in the outcome table. So by using this condition, both the fact table and uh, dimension table are joined. So you can simply reuse these associations in several report definition. So the purpose of this is a particular data should always be joined with other table. You can create an association, because if you are frequently joining with some data, then only you can get, for example, in order to get the mobile information, like what is the mobile name and mobile price and everything, we should also get the mobile model also every time, but the model information is present in separate table. So you have to join the mobile data with the mobile model data table all the time. So if you are frequently doing, in every report you need to create a join. So without a class join, you can directly create one association, and simply you need to add that that association will automatically come here. You don't need to add also. Okay. So with this prefix, which will be the name of the association, automatically it will display what all associations are there, and you can simply give the prefix dot model name, prefix dot model number, like that. So frequently you can use it reusable join, that is a association. But if you create a report, every time you have to create a join for every report that you create. So that's the difference here. Now we got the data from here, that is the tables. You have to remember what are the list of dimension tables. Okay, you have to remember what are the list of dimension tables which are present here. Now let us see the different ways of inserting the data into the interaction history. How can we update the interaction history? So the first way is to capture using capture response API. Okay, so the first way is using capture response API. This is a OOTP API which is present in every application. You don't need to create any API. So if you come to the online and if you just search capture response API, you will be able to see the specification for that API. Okay, you will be able to see the specification for that API. So if you just scroll down, okay, so this is the capture response API specification, and here if you just scroll down, this is the sample request that you need to send. Just go through this link. Okay, I'm pasting this in the chat. So what you have to do, whatever the system or whatever who is, they have to simply invoke this API. Okay, they have to simply invoke this API, then interaction history will be updated. So all these parameters are needed for capture response API. So what you do, just search here capture response. So this is also part of MKT container service package. Service package is same. And here you just open this one. That's what I'm showing, right?
No, I mean to say, by passing all the parameters, and can you open? Can you
That's
show
what
us?
I'm showing.
No,
We are
I
going to
mean,
that only.
okay,
We
okay,
will be seeing how to pass all the parameters and how to capture the interaction history.
okay.
So just wait for that topic. Okay. So this is the service REST, which I told that is a capture response. And here you can run this capture response here. So you need to select the post method. Now paste this here. And so you need to take the subject ID, which is the customer ID. Okay. Okay. So give the subject ID here. It is 14. And the context name is the customer. So whatever is the context, that is the context name you need to give, whatever you have defined in the context dictionary. So this is the real-time container which we have in the system. So again, you need to create a real-time container, which we have seen already, how to create a real-time container and all that. So just you need to create the real-time container, activate that real-time container, and give the name of the container here. And here you give the 14 again, that is the subject ID. So this customer ID is there in this customer table. I know this customer ID, that's why I gave this thing. And context name customer. Here you need to give the action name which you created. So we have standard card, rewards card, and all that actions are there, right? That action I'm giving. And that action is present in grow. So we have seen this several times while creating the strategy also. Issue name is grow, group name is credit cards. This is the proposition. And I'm giving the outcome as accepted, channel as website, direction is inbound, and I click on execute. So we got 200 status, that is response is captured successfully. Okay. So now any system has to send the request in this format with all the proper values. You need to send a request to the service. Now let us go to the CDH and verify the interaction history. Okay. So you can go to the interaction history by clicking here and clicking this, and you can see the interaction is updated with interaction history for the customer 14. And this customer has, a minute ago, this customer accepted standard card which is present in grow credit cards, and the outcome is accepted and the propensity is 0 because there is no information about the previous data for this offer. But as the customer responds more, the propensity will be increasing. Okay. So this is how the interactions will be captured using the capture response API. Okay, got it. So this is what you're asking, or you're asking anything else?
Yeah, this is what. And why the propensity, I mean, fact number is in negative digit?
Yeah, there is no limit on that fact number. The fact number will be like that only, minus. So it's negative and it can also be positive. There is no restriction on that. It is just a unique ID for that particular record, just a primary key value. Okay, so this fact table, fact ID is the primary key. So it can be negative, it can be positive, but just a unique number that will be, by using which you can retrieve at a later point of time. If you want to retrieve some data, you can retrieve. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is how this interactions will be updated here using the capture at response. All you need to do is just create a container. You need to have, what you need to have is, you need to have context dictionary properly set up, and context is applied, and one customer, at least one customer is there. So then simply you need to pass the customer ID, context name, container name. Okay, container name, and remaining things will be your business issue, business group, and what is the offer that is the customer is accepting. So dynamically you need to pass wherever offers are being displayed on the website or email or something, whatever the particular offer that the customer is clicking, dynamically you need to pass all these parameters to the ranked results. Okay, so ranked results will contain your offers. This ranked results is a page list. So if you are inserting 100 pages, 100 interactions will be created. Okay, so this is a page list here. So sometimes customer will accept 10 offers at a time, right, on the website or something. So you need to send the actions, you need to capture which offer, which button he is clicking. All that you need to capture from that system, and that system or that particular application has to send this data. And this interaction ID is the same thing which you get from the MKT container. So like I told you right last time, the MKT container service will return interaction ID in the response. So whatever the interaction ID that is coming in the response, the same interaction ID you have to send it back, which will indicate that, okay, during this session, this many offers customer accepted, this offer customer rejected. Because we need to know like when this customer accepted, because at which point of time we sent the offers, and for which session the customer accepted, for tracking purpose. So that is the reason the interaction ID should be same as what you get from MKT container. And the remaining things, these are all not mandatory. Campaign ID, rank is nothing but which offers first rank, second rank, like that. So these are all not required, they are optional. And direction, if it is website, you give it as inbound. If it is email, you give it as outbound, like that you will be giving. So yeah, that's it actually. Just you need to append all your offers into this ranked results page list, and send it to the API. That's it. Now next way, without this thing, so can we, so sometimes business don't entertain APIs. They don't want to use API, which might just create some integration related issues. So second way you already know, which is update status. So the update status shape in the offer flow will take care of inserting to interaction history. So this we cannot see right now, we can see that from campaign only, but this update status shape we have already discussed. So that is also a recommended way of inserting to interaction history. That is the update status shape in the offer flow. So third one is using capture interaction activity. So why to use this API? Why do we need to do always integration? And so sometimes within the application itself you want to capture, because API, when you will go, when there are two or more systems involved in this particular requirement, you will go for an API. But the capturing has to happen within the same application. So then you don't need to use any API, right? So for example, in the same application, let us say I have a case type, and I am actually showing some offers to the customer. Okay, within the same application, that is a CDH application, I have a case type where I am showing the offers to the customer and I want to capture the customer outcome. So you don't need any API in this scenario because you are in the same application. This is not some separate application or separate system. So at that time, you can use this capture interaction activity. So let us see how do we use this. So actually, this API itself is using the same capture interaction activity. What you have to do is so if you open this service activity, within this service activity, if you see this one, there is one activity called capture response. This capture response is using the activity called capture interaction. So this is responsible for inserting the data into interaction history. So for example, if I try to comment this and try to run the service again, you will not be able to insert the data to the interaction history, because in the backend the API is inserting the data to the interaction history because of this activity only. Okay, because of this activity only it is inserting. So for example, let us run it again now. So now I run the service again, select the post method, scroll down and give this here. So I'll give the same data here. I'll give 14 and context name as customer, container name as top offers, 14 customer, standard card, grow, credit cards, accepted, website inbound. Okay, so that's what I give here. So now just execute this. Okay, so we got the message, but let us see the CTH. So we have commented, right? So let's go back. Okay, you see this, nothing is captured. So even though we got 200, nothing is captured because this step is commented out. Okay, so what this activity is doing, so this is the main activity that is responsible for capturing the interaction history. So what this activity will do is, or wherever, so not only this API, wherever you want you can call this thing. This is a OOTP activity, capture interaction. So from wherever you want you can call this activity, and what you have to do is you have to simply initiate one page, declare a page called IH supporting info PG. Okay, so we have to map all the offers into IH supporting info PG. Okay, so that what you have to do is just declare one page IH supporting info PG here to code PEGA list IH supporting info PG dot px results to data dash px strategy result, which is the parent of all SR classes. Now what they are doing here, if you just see this, whatever the data that we are sending in the request, okay, whatever the data that we are sending in the request, that is the ranked results. I showed you right here, the ranked results page list. So that means I can have 10 pages also, which will create 10 interactions. So they are appending everything from ranked results into IH supporting info.pg.px results. That's it. That's what you have to do. Okay. So you have to simply, yeah, anything you can do. You can keep anything, right? So just in the service, the request is stored in dot request. That is the reason they gave it as dot request as the property, right here. See, it depends on your requirement, right? I'm just showing you sample how it is present. Here it is dot request. So that's the reason they have given the page name also as dot request, because everything is present in dot request dot rank results. So from here, okay, from ranked results, we have to append everything into I had supporting info pg.px results. So what I will do, I'll just run this thing. If you want, what I will do is, yeah. So here, I'll just say new page. I'll just run this standalone, and okay, so I'll just run this standalone here, and yeah. So again, I'm just giving some data here. Just try to give valid data, not some random details or something. So I'll just give here grow. This is not mandatory. See, again, same parameters which I showed you in the specification document, that is required. The remaining are not required. So I am appending one page into I had supporting info pg.pxls. So this is standard card. This is also standard card. Channel is email, a website I will give. Direction is, or let us say I give something else like rewards card. Rewards card. I'll give the channel as email. Direction is outbound. Treatment is not mandatory, but I'll give something like ABC treatment, or I'll give it as standard card type. Outcome, I'll give it as rejected. Behavior, I will give it as negative. Okay, negative. See, whatever you give, it will insert. Okay, there is no restriction like you need to give like capital letters, small letters, nothing like that. Okay, so this all are not needed. This is for some requirement they have kept it. All these are not needed. And interaction history, interaction ID you can give here. So all these are needed here. Yeah, yeah. Dot interaction ID. I think interaction ID is PX interaction ID. Okay, PX interaction ID. Just I'm giving some data here. So then what else we have? Okay, so if you just come here, okay, we have container name, context name, so that we are having. Okay, yeah, so here I don't need this one. Okay, so I'm just deleting this. Interaction ID I have already given. So this also I'm removing this one. And so PX rank, giving it as 1, priority I not needed. Propensity I'll give it as 0.567 like this. External ID is not needed. Operator ID is not mandatory. So this all I'll keep as it is. Okay, this all I'll keep as it is, and I don't think this is all needed. Outcome time, what is this? Okay, so just I am removing all these things. Yeah, so what is all this not needed? Okay, so now we have the, I believe we have all the mandatory parameters. So now save this. Okay, so now something is still okay. Bundle name, all these things are not needed. Okay, I'll just give empty values. Now save it. Okay, so what we are doing is we are just inserting some sample record into IH supporting info pg.px results. That's what we are doing. Interaction ID and priority. These two also we removed. Save this. Okay, so we are inserting now one record into IH supporting info pg.px results. Now let us go back to this, and here I will simply, we can run this thing. Okay, we can run this. Yeah, so let us run this thing. So calling capture interaction activity with proper IH supporting info pg. Okay, so we have to run this with proper IH supporting info pg. So you append everything into that page or page list, and then you run the activity. So success. Let us see. So this is still we are not getting a, okay. What is that? So there can be some more configuration we might need to do. Again, what we can do, right? So something might be missing. Yeah, container is missing, right? So we did not give the container name and all that. Okay. Container subject ID also we did not give. So all these are missing here. Device subject ID 14. Uh, yeah, so just you have to give it like this. Okay, all you have to do is just you have to give it like this, and then you have to run the activity. So ideally it will be working as expected. Okay, so just you have to pass the same thing whatever you have read. So whatever the thing is there, you have to pass all those things, and you have to insert the record here. So you can just try this one as a practice. So what you do, you just insert all these mandatory parameters, whichever is there. You insert all these mandatory parameters: subject ID, context name, name, issue, everything. So just see, these properties will be present in I believe in int dash PEGA CDH dash container. Okay, in this class it will be present, int dash PEGA CDH dash container dash request. So you just have to give like this, probably like a response page dot issue, response page dot context name, response page dot group, like that you have to give, and then you have to run this activity. Okay, so what this is basically doing is simply you have to insert everything into IH supporting info pg.px results and run the capture interaction activity. So if it is having all the valid parameters, then automatically it will insert the data to the interaction string. So that is the second thing, which is the capture interaction activity, which will insert whatever results are there in IH supporting info pg.px results. Then the last thing is data flow, which is called capture interaction data flow. So again, this capture interaction activity will use the data flow to insert the data. So that means your options are either you can use the API directly, or you can use the activity which is getting triggered in the API, or you can directly run the data flow using data flow dash execute method. So the data flow name is df underscore capture interaction. So internally, all these are getting run, all these are linked together and they are running one another. Okay, so this API is calling the capture interaction activity. This activity is calling the data flow. So that's it. This data flow will not, this data flow will call one more thing, that is the data set actually. Okay, so this data flow will call the data set called PX interaction history. So this PX interaction history is the aggregated data set with all IH records. So last time also we have seen data set as execute method. What does it have? It has methods like browse operation, browse by keys, delete by keys, save operation, truncate operation. So all these methods, all these operations are there for data set dash execute. So this is also data set. PX interaction history is also data set. So here we are using the save operation here. So if you see here, data flow dash execute, capture interaction, data flow, and if you open the capture interaction data flow, so what is happening here means we are actually taking all the data that we are mentioning and we are inserting the data into this data flow, and this data flow will insert into the data set. So if you open this process response, okay, so you see again here you have processor interaction history. So you see finally the output is coming into this data set that is called PX interaction history. So each and every record that is present in interaction history will be present in this PX interaction history dataset. That means directly you can use the method called dataset dash execute, like that also you can do here. So you can directly say dataset dash execute and you can select the operation as save. Then whatever page list is there where the offers are there, that page list you can give it in the dataset dash execute method. So this is the data set that will contain all the interaction history data, that is PX interaction history. Now if you run this, select here browse by key, save, you see here. Now that means in activity, instead of using this capture interaction and all that, just to give the mandatory parameters which are there in the API document, and you select the operation as save, then you use it in the activity, it will save the record. Now if you run this data set, right now we have one record, right? I believe some hidden records might also be there, but yeah, only one record is there, which we have inserted some time before, which is this 14 customer ID who has accepted standard card offer that belongs to Grow credit cards issue and group. So same thing, whatever we have thought, right? Same thing is there here. So this is how you will insert the data into this interaction history using this data set also. So like this many methods are there, like where you can insert the data. So you can try all of them. So if you have any issues, we'll discuss. Okay. Context dictionary, update status, capture interaction activity, data flow, PX interaction history. So any questions till here?
So, as we are inserting a lot of data in interaction history, right? So usually, issue happens in production that the table itself, whatever report definition or whatever operations we are doing on that, always performance issue would happen on that. So how do we handle those issues?
See, generally we have retention period. You have to create some utility to delete using some job scheduler, like every 2 months old data whatever is there, or 1 year old data whatever is there, like that you have to keep deleting. So there is no OTB for that. You have to do as per your policy. More than 3 months any data is there, you delete, like that you have to configure.
Okay, okay. Okay, got it. So when we are deleting it, we will have to delete it from all the dimension tables, whatever is
Yeah.
related. Got it.
So if you, yeah, correct. Okay, fine. So just try to practice this, try to go through this service activity, try to use this activity and try to use the data flow, try to use this data set in the activity directly using data set as execute. You insert some records and see whether it is inserting or not. Okay, so we'll just see tomorrow how to retrieve the data from interaction tree.